Sound Vision on Summer Valley FM.
Local radio making a difference. From the voices we empower
to the people we train
and the stories we share.
My name's Dom Chambers and I'm the founder and CEO of Sound Vision, which is the new working name of the charity I formed in 2017, the Summer Valley Education Trust. It remains the legal identity of the charity, but we're now known as Sound Vision. There's only one mission, and that is how do we develop that sense of inner confidence, self-love in people, self-belief, so that they can transport themselves to whatever destination they choose. This week we've had 5 Year 10s with us who've come in. Our trainer Maggie's been there. We've had a number of guests. But what they'll learn is that they have creativity in audio and radio.
So I'm Maggie Harding, I'm the principal trainer here. We have students that come in on an alternative provision. So they're students in schools who are maybe low self-esteem or ADHD, other sorts of issues. And we offer them the chance to come out of the regular classroom and come to us to do some radio skills. So they produce maybe a radio show or a podcast. And then we just try and build their confidence up from there. Every training session has to start with some icebreakers.
I came in, and when I got here, I think there was it was 2 people. I think Eddie and Sheer were the 2 ones here. And I was really eager to meet everyone else.
I was a bit nervous at first, but I was really welcomed by Maggie and Dom and the rest of the team here.
Everyone seemed like welcoming, everyone seemed like really kind, so I was just I felt like welcomed. I felt like it's a sort of safe space, so I could sort of just be myself there.
Dom wanted to do a heritage quiz. He had an idea about them finding out who they were or why they lived here, what they thought about living in Midsummer Norton.
I love the idea that young people are fascinated, are interested in the past of their area, because I think that's going to, as they grow up into positions of decision-making circles, say in their local communities, that's going to inform how these communities and this environment is taken care of.
So we were tasked with an icebreaker quiz, and on there were some questions which were about the heritage of Midsummer Norton.
We had to answer questions based on the local area. One area was St. John's the Baptist Church, which had the bells gifted from King Charles II.
Obviously, I never really looked into my heritage before. I never really looked into the past of this town, but being able to go around, see everything and finding out more about it, it really brought more than just this town is deep.
Well, I didn't know about any of the places we went to be honest. I didn't know the history of this place because I've only lived here about a year now. So yeah, made me feel more aware of where I am and my surroundings.
It's about the theme of heritage really sort of connected me with the local area, and it was fascinating to be able to discover the history of Midsummer Norton.
They really devoured, I think is a good way of putting it, the history and heritage of the area, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what they've come up with, which I haven't yet. So I'm going to be, like them and their families, I'll be tuning into Summer Valley 97.5 FM and listening to their work, and no doubt I'll be learning a few things.
So we did another icebreaker quiz. We did 2 based on guessing the intro of famous pieces of music, which we got every answer right because we are so smart. So we had a 3-minute one-on-one talk about like one curious fact and one interesting fact.
That was very funny. Eddie had a lot to say about himself, and like, obviously that's a good thing because obviously that was the activity. So I found out a lot more about someone that like I go to school with Eddie, but we're not really in the same sort of friendship group. So it was like kind of mad to see find out more about him.
So Monday was spent getting to know each other, and we went out and about, came back, and we went up to the studio where we got them all talking in the mics. 2 of them didn't want to, and that's fine. We'd said from the outset, if you don't want to speak, you don't have to, and that's something that Dom's very big on actually. There are jobs for everybody. Not everybody wants to be a presenter. Not everyone likes the sound of their own voice. So it was quite nice that a couple of them said, no, we don't want to, but they enjoyed the editing. So we gave them the opportunity to do that.
So it was really like a good activity for me to really build up my confidence on the mic and like just do it, I guess.
Day 2 was a brainstorming like part of what heritage means to us, which I said that it means like old friends and like old memories that I think back on with like different pieces of music.
I got them thinking about what was heritage and why Midsummer Norton was important to some of them, and thinking about if they weren't born in Midsummer Norton, where were they born and why is that place then important and memorable for them.
And that war memorial, like I walk past that every day when I'm walking home from school. I never really gave like 2 thoughts about it, but finding out more about it sort of gives me a greater appreciation of the area.
Dom appeared, told us that we'd got Philip coming, and so we down-tooled with that exercise for a while and thought, right, we need questions now for Mr. Radley Smith, who's coming in. So we did a bit of research, they used their phones and saw what he was doing, chatted about that. So we knew who was coming, and they had lots of lovely questions for him.
Interviewing Mr. Radley Smith was very fun, really enjoyable listening to him answering the questions while we were there.
During the interview process, he had some really valuable insights into the world of business.
He was answering every question with confidence. He was telling us everything that he knew. It was just really professional and it felt great.
Dom came into the radio station on the morning of day 3 and said that an elderly woman had passed him and said that there was a shopping trolley in the river by the radio station.
So one of the things that I've been encouraging young people to do when they're with us is to find the story, to seek a story. There's a story potentially everywhere you look. And as these students were working on their kind of heritage feature for the area, I was walking back from my office, which is located very close by to the training facilities, and I was walking over a little bridge by the River Soma, which is a brook bubbling away from where we work, going down into the town of Midsummer Norton, and an elderly lady was crossing the bridge, and she looked into this river and she made a derisory remark about young people when she saw a Sainsbury's shopping trolley put into the river. So I didn't dwell, I smiled politely, and she made her way, and I went in and I relayed what I'd heard to the young people on our course. And very quickly they'd come to the decision that they wanted to make a point that actually not all kids are like that, and in fact most kids aren't, and they were going to prove the point.
It's not all of the kids, it's not a collective, it's just a few people who are letting our reputation down. We ended up walking down.
I was wearing my Crocs, so I just took off my socks, got in the river, fished it out, pulled it up, and we had to wheel it back to Sainsbury's.
We got the trolley out, we returned it, we took a picture and all, so that was all blessed.
And they thought it was hilarious. They just all were saying, I can't believe we're suddenly doing this. It was great. And so they hoiked it out and then decided that they were going to take it back to Sainsbury's. And they were all proud that taking it back. But what was funny was everybody, all the older people in the community were coming towards them, and you could see on their faces they were thinking, oh, what are these children doing? What are they doing? Because it was like a gaggle of kids with a trolley laughing and being all sort of loud. But it was nice because they were actually taking the trolley back. They were doing something good for the community.
And yeah, it was so bizarre. We were just walking up to Sainsbury's with this trolley with, bits of pondweed on it, getting strange looks from the public. I mean, it's fair enough, but still. And yeah, that was such an odd morning, but it was actually really fun. Yeah, it was unexpected, but we took it in our stride.
And it was an example to them that you can create a story, and a positive story, and one that's going to, have a good and positive ripple out effect over the community, whilst actually doing something that directly helps the community by removing the shopping trolley from the river.
We have these booklets that we've got tick off things that we've got to do, and the first one was I make a cup of tea or coffee for another person working there, and I, a weird person, has never made a cup of tea or coffee, so I had help from Harry and Charlie to help me go through making it. And
we are teaching Eddie to make a cup of tea because he has never made one before, which is mental. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to see how this goes.
It shows it because it's large and you can get more quantity.
You can get more.
Everyone loves a big cuppa.
That should be enough, I think.
Yeah, because
right?
you still want a bit of milk.
You still want a bit of milk and ginger.
Is that?
I'd give a drop more, yeah.
Drag it up. You want to squeeze it against the side. You want to get as much tea as physically possible out until it comes out fully. Bin, tea bag, done. Spoon there.
No.
Hey. Perfect cup of tea.
We had a fabulous afternoon with John Dash, and Dom had arranged for John Dash to come to talk to us about how to present, or presenting skills, and it was really lovely. He'd wanted our music choices so that he could demonstrate to us how powerful music is and how important music is.
He was great, actually. He was so lovely from the second we met him, and he was a very nice person. He was very comedic, and he was really engaging, and he was just great to listen to. I didn't, get distracted. All my focus was on him because he had the room and he had some really valuable points.
Presenter masterclass with John was very in-depth about what you have to do if you want to be a good presenter on radio. He taught us a lot, from having to include the audience when listening to keep them listening, and to not talk over songs because it might annoy the audience and they may never listen to your show again.
He was just normal and engaging, and he had a lot to say, and he made you, he's this big guy in media, but he didn't act like it, do you get what I mean? He wasn't cocky or anything, he was just a person, which I really liked. He was down to earth.
So with all of the things that they've been doing, they've been making recordings of them, and then we've been saving them up to put in an hour show. I think the kids have had an absolute blast. I think they've absolutely loved it.
It is just such a safe and nice environment, and I think one thing I'm going to leave is a lot more confidence in myself, because being told that I'm really good on the mic, or I'm just really confident or funny, it does give me a lot more confidence to do whatever and speak out and stuff and speak my mind, so yeah.
I learnt a lot of valuable communication skills, being considerate and listening. Listening is a really important factor. Listening and getting yourself heard is what people really appreciate. And if you give that to them, if you give them a platform to express themselves, then wonderful things can happen. They let out their creative side. It's a wonderful outlet.
I would definitely recommend people coming down to Summer Valley FM next to Somervale School for their work experience. It was very enjoyable. If I had to do work experience again, this would definitely be my go-to choice.
I feel more comfortable with the people, but yeah, I feel more confident trying to talk to more people more than I usually would.
It has been a really good week for all of us. A different reason that I'm here is because I do have a speech impediment, and I'm here to show other people kind of like me that it's okay to have something like this and be in front of a mic, because you're around people, you talk to people talk back to you, and there's no reason to be afraid of anything here.
And we're very focused on young people, but we're certainly not exclusively about young people, and people of every generation will find a welcome with us and find projects that can help them get on. No shortage of beneficiaries. The only thing that restricts us is our resources to deliver this stuff. So if people are watching this who feel that they might be able to contribute, either through their expertise or because they are trust funds who would like to make contributions, or philanthropic support, private donors, grant funders, as I said at the beginning, it's about installing that sense of self-belief and encouraging an environment where people can make that discovery for themselves. You can't lead people's lives for them. You can tell them some good stuff and they might take your advice, but it's really, a place where they can discover it for themselves. And there's nothing like that first nervous time you put up a microphone and you stammer out something, and that was me, that was me 32 years ago. So radio is only one of the ways we achieve this. It's about that ethos of getting people's inner belief about their potential, realizing the fullness of that potential, and developing self-love and confidence. As I say, no shortage of people who could do with that environment. We just need more resources to deliver it. So if you've got any ways of helping us, we'd really love to hear from you.
You're listening to Summer Valley FM 97.5. This is Sound Vision, and today's show is presented by Year 10 Work Experience students. I'm Harry Melling, joined by Sheer Hopkins and Eddie Frankham from Somerville, along with Charlie Callow and Clara Bailey from Norton Hill, and this is our work experience journey.
Thank you for listening and allowing us to enjoy this.
We all had a wonderful time in the process of making this, and it's been such a wonderful week.
And I believe I can speak for everyone when I say if we had the chance to do this all over again, we definitely would.
Thanks for listening to Sound Vision.